Hello everyone. The topic for today is operations on process. So there are basically two operations that you can perform on a process. One is creating a process, another is terminating a process. So we are going to dedicate today's lecture on understanding these two things. Now, the first operation that you can perform on the process is you can create a new process. So a process, while it is running, it can create a new process. एक प्रोसेस अपनी एग्जीक्यूशन के टाइम और बहुत सारे नए प्रोसेस क्रिएट कर सकता है. द प्रोसेस विच इज क्रिएटिंग अ न्यू प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड द पेरेंट प्रोसेस, वेयर एज द न्यू प्रोसेस दैट इज क्रिएटेड इज कॉल्ड द चाइल्ड प्रोसेस. जो प्रोसेस बना रहा है दैट इज कॉल्ड द पेरेंट प्रोसेस, और जो नया प्रोसेस बन रहा है दैट इज कॉल्ड द चाइल्ड प्रोसेस. द चाइल्ड प्रोसेस इन टर्न कैन फर्दर क्रिएट न्यू चाइल्ड प्रोसेस, राइट? So before we move ahead, we need to understand what is the need to create a child process. Parent child process क्यों बनाएगा, वो काम खुद क्यों नहीं कर सकता? So let us first try to understand this scenario. Now suppose that you have a process which does two things. So it has two functions to do. The first function is that it is required to print a document, and the second function is that it is required to do a complex calculation. You just assume that any complex calculation that is going to take some time. Okay, so these are the two tasks that a process is supposed to do. So since it is only one process, it cannot perform both the tasks simultaneously. It can do one thing at a time. Normally भी आप एक काम एक टाइम पे कर सकते हो. अगर आपको दो काम बोले हैं करने के लिए तो आप पहले एक करोगे फिर दूसरा करोगे. You cannot do both the things at the same time, right? So now for function 1, to print a document, what is the resource that the process requires? It's the printer. For function 2, what is the resource that the process requires? Calculation कौन करेगा? Processor, right? So these are the two different resources that are required by the process. But वो दोनों को same time पे use नहीं कर सकता because it can do only one function at a time. So let us assume that for performing the printing part, it takes 10 minutes to the process, and for doing the calculation part it takes 5 minutes. I'm just assuming it hypothetically. So अगर एक काम को 10 मिनट लगते हैं, दूसरे काम को 5 मिनट लगते हैं, what will be the total time that the process will require to finish both the tasks? It is simple, 15 minutes, right? And the point to understand here is the printer and the CPU are both different resources, and the functions, function 1 and function 2, were independent of each other. But it is the limitation of the process that it can do only one task at a time. Hence it took 10 plus 5 minutes, in total 15 minutes to complete that task. Now let us suppose that the process, we call it as P, creates another process P1. Now this process is the parent process P, and P1 it creates a new process which is called the child process. तब उस एक प्रोसेस ने एक और प्रोसेस बना दिया, and the process P itself takes the task of printing the document and it assigns the calculation part to P1. तो P ने खुद क्या करना है, प्रिंटिंग करनी है प्रिंटर के ऊपर. P1 ने खुद क्या करना है, कैलकुलेशन करनी है CPU के ऊपर. अब there are two process, दोनों के पास अपना अपना रिसोर्स है. Both the process have got their own resource. One has got the printer, other got the CPU. Now both of them can execute at the same time. Yes, दोनों same time पे अपना अपना काम कर सकते हैं. So total time कितना लगेगा पूरे प्रोसेस को? Total time will be equal to the time taken by the slowest process. So printer कितना टाइम ले रहा था प्रिंटिंग करने के लिए? 10 minutes. कैलकुलेशन करने के लिए CPU ने कितना टाइम लिया? 5. तो स्लो कौन सा हो गया? 10. So total टाइम कितना लगेगा मुझे in this case? Only 10 minutes. So we have saved 5 minutes by dividing the task among the two processes, where one of the tasks was performed by the parent process and the other task was performed by the child process. The only thing to keep in mind is that the task should actually be independent, so that the child process and the parent process can perform them at the same time. So this is the need of creating child process. Now coming back to operations on the process. So if the process can create further new processes, every process in the system will be identified by a process identifier. The child, the parent, every process will have a unique process ID called the PID. No two processes in the system can have the same PID. Now, how you are going to create the child process? Parent ने child बनाना कैसे है? The parent is going to make use of the system call. Now we have studied in system calls that every OS has got a different set of system calls. So if you are using Linux, the system call is going to be fork, whereas in Windows the system call will be create process. So you can use either of them to create a child process. We will take the example of Unix in this lecture, and I'm going to show you a program where by using fork we will create a child process. Now, how the child process is going to get the resources? Every process needs some resources. हर एक को कोई ना कोई resource चाहिए, तो वो resource मिलेंगे कहाँ से? So there are two methods. One, the child process can get the resource from the operating system, or it can get the resource from the parent resources. जो parent के पास resources हैं, उनमें से कुछ subset child को मिल सकता है. Now, if the child process is getting the resources from the operating system, under certain situations, this can cause a problem. Suppose a programmer writes a malicious program where the program goes on creating child process. Then what will happen? If there are a lot of processes that are being created, every process is going to get the resources from the operating system. Then OS के पास इतने resources होंगे ही नहीं कि वो child को allocate कर पाए. The OS will not have those many resources that it can allocate to every child process, right? It will make the OS slow. It will make your system slow. So the alternative is what? You allocate a subset of the resources from the set of parent resources. तो alternate के हमने क्या करना है? हमने जितने भी जो process child process create करेगा, child को parent के ही subset of resources मिलेंगे, so that एक limited amount में ही parent जो है वो child को create करे. Whenever a process creates a new process, then what happens with that parent? Parent की execution कैसे हो सकती है? So there are two different methods the parent can execute. One, the parent continues to execute concurrently with the children. Parent और child में जो काम है, like the example that I have given, both the tasks are independent. So in that case, the parent as well as the child can execute simultaneously. दोनों एक ही साथ execute हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि दोनों के लिए resources अलग अलग हैं, दोनों का जो काम है वो dependent नहीं. Second, there might be a scenario that the parent depends upon some task that is done by the child. For example, let us suppose that the parent has to do this calculation, a is equal to b plus c. So this is done by the parent, and the child is doing a calculation, b is equal to d plus e. Now the parent is dependent on the child for the value of b. It cannot execute or it cannot calculate the value of a until the child has executed and calculated the value of b. So now this is a dependent scenario where the parent p is dependent upon the child p1. p तब तक आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता जब तक उसके पास b की वैल्यू नहीं आ जाती, जो कि p1 जो चाइल्ड है उसने कैलकुलेट करनी है. So in this case, the parent has to wait for the child to complete or terminate. Now this can be for all the children or for some of the child process. Second thing is, what about the child? Now we have said that the parent is going to create the child process. Now who is writing the code for the parent? It is we as a programmer. Parent का code किसने लिखा? हमने लिखा, हमने उसको रन किया, वो parent process बन गया. पेरेंट ने चाइल्ड बनाया, तो चाइल्ड का जो कोड है इट्स अ प्रोसेस. प्रोसेस इज व्हाट? प्रोग्राम इन एग्जीक्यूशन, राइट? दिस मींस द प्रोसेस इज एग्जीक्यूटिंग सम कोड. नाउ फ्रॉम वेयर दैट कोड is given to the child, how that child is getting the code. So there are again two scenarios. One, the child is a duplicate of the parent process. This means what? Whatever is the code in the parent exactly is the code in the child. So now the question comes, then why we are duplicating if it is the same task? So as a programmer, this is your task to define the code in such a manner that the parent knows what is his task and the child knows what is his specific task. As a programmer हमने ये कोड करना है पेरेंट में ही, और उसमें बताना है कि पेरेंट कौन सा पार्ट करेगा और चाइल्ड कौन सा पार्ट करेगा. This will be understanding with the help of an example. The second scenario is where you don't want the child to be a duplicate. आप चाहते हो कि चाइल्ड में कुछ नया कोड हो. So that can also be done. The child can have entirely new program loaded into it. But वो कोड आप ही नहीं करना है जब आपने पेरेंट बनाना है. Now we will see how to create a child process with the help of a program. So if you want to run this program, understand it in more depth, you should actually visit this link. There you can find this code, copy paste it in your system, run it, and then understand as and when I explain. You can find more codes there for better understanding or better practice. Now let's see how it works. So fork is a system call that is going to create the child process. So we have used fork here. Now fork returns some value. That value should be of the data type PID_T. तो जैसे int, main, char डेटा टाइप्स होते हैं, ऐसी एक डेटा टाइप है PID_T. उस डेटा टाइप का हमने एक वेरिएबल ले लिया Q, and fork is going to return the value which will be saved in Q. Now fork क्या रिटर्न कर सकता है? It can return three things, three values. First, it can be less than 0. If the fork fails, then it returns something which is less than 0, like -1. Now if the fork is successful, this means the process P will be able to create a child process P1. अगर fork successful हो गया तो ये आप जो आपने कोड लिखा है, जब आप इसको रन करोगे ये प्रोसेस बन जाएगा P, और उसने आगे एक चाइल्ड प्रोसेस क्रिएट कर देना है P1. So if fork is successful, then it will return different value for Q in the parent process and different value for Q in the child process. देखो अगर fork success हो गया, this means after this line has executed, now there exists two process in the system, P and P1, and we know that the execution will start from the line up till which the program has already executed. हमारी execution आगे से continue होती है. This means both in P and as well in P1 the execution will start from this line. ठीक है जी. So now since this code has been duplicated, this means P will have its own value of Q and P1 will have its own value of Q. दो प्रोसेस हैं, दोनों की अपनी अपनी एड्रेस स्पेस होगी. अगर उनकी अपनी अपनी एड्रेस स्पेस है तो दोनों में Q की वैल्यू डिफरेंट है. Now what will be that value of Q? In the child process the value of Q will be 0. In the parent process the value of child will be greater than 0. So the most important part to understand, if the fork is successful, there will be two processes in the system. Both will have their independent address space, and in both the process the value of Q will be different. In child the value of Q will be 0 and in parent the value of Q will be greater than 0. So क्योंकि child की value equal to 0 है, hence in my code I have checked upon what is the value of Q. If it is 0 then I am saying that it is the child process. तो मैं जो कोड लिख रहा हूँ मैंने वो डिफाइन कहाँ पे किया है, ऑन द वैल्यू ऑफ Q. मैंने कंडीशन कहाँ लगाई है, Q के ऊपर. अगर Q की वैल्यू 0 है तो वो कौन सा प्रोसेस हो गया, चाइल्ड. तो चाइल्ड में Q की वैल्यू कितनी होगी, 0. तो ये कंडीशन ट्रू हो जाएगी चाइल्ड में एंड ये फॉल्स हो जाएगी. दिस मीन्स चाइल्ड विल ओनली बी एग्जीक्यूटिंग दिस पोर्शन, Q is equal to 0. So whatever you want your child process to do should be defined here, right? Now in the parent process the value of Q is greater than 0. This means that for the parent this portion will not be executed, whereas this portion will be executed because this will become true. So whatever you want the parent to do should be defined in this portion of the code. Clear? जो चाइल्ड ने करना है वो इक्वल टू 0 वाले पोर्शन में डिफाइन करना है, जो पेरेंट ने जॉब करना है वो ग्रेटर देन 0 वाले पोर्शन में डिफाइन करना है. Now what is that task depends upon what you intend to do, जो आप करना चाहते हो या फिर जो क्वेश्चन में आया. So here what I am doing, in the child I am simply printing the process ID of the child and the process ID of the parent. The function get PID prints the process ID of any process. Get PPID prints the process ID of the parent. So child will print the PID of itself and the PID of the parent. अब parent में क्या कर रहे हैं? Parent prints its own PID, parent having PID, get PID, and now what is that value of Q? Q में कुछ value आई होगी 2, 5, 10, 15, 200, 2000, whatever. Now what is that value? That value actually tells the PID of the child, so that the parent can know that a process with this PID is my child process. तो अगर parent ने child का PID print करना है तो कहाँ से print करेगा? Printing Q. यहाँ पे it should have been Q here, not P. या Q1, right? So make one correction here, it should be. So I hope this is clear. You can go to this link. The code is available. Just copy paste it, run it. It will make things more clear. Now a question: how many child processes will be created by the code? So if I use fork back to back without putting any condition, if else, how many process will be created? Child process will be created. So just pause the video for a minute and then compare your answer. Now the answer will be, there will be total process will be 4 and the exact answer, that is child process, will be 3. Now let us see how it works. So there are two statements, just remember fork and fork. So once you run it, it becomes the process जो parent है. So I have numbered it number 1. Now when this process encounters the first fork, जब पहला fork इसने execute किया तो उससे क्या हो गया? एक और child बन गया. So after executing first fork, the process has created one child process. Now there is one child and total of 2 processes. The execution will start from the line after the first fork. तो पहली line के बाद इसका मतलब जो second fork है, that is executed by both the process. So both the process are executing the second fork. Hence both are going to create one new child process. So parent ने एक और child बनाया और child process 2 ने एक और बनाया child process 4. So main process parent के उसके कितने हो गए total child? 2 और इस child का एक और child. So total process are 4 whereas child process are 3. So as a general rule, the total number of processes will be 2 to the power n and number of child processes will be 2 to the power of n minus 1. Now last part, how to terminate the process. So there are two methods, normal and forced termination. Normal termination means that the process has executed all the lines and it exits the system on its own, thus freeing all the resources that are allocated to it. जब एक प्रोसेस ने अपना सारा काम फिनिश कर दिया, सारी लाइंस ऑफ कोड एग्जीक्यूट हो गई, then that is normal execution. Forced execution is the parent might forcefully kill the child. There can be different reasons for that. One of them can be it exceeds its uses of resources. Second can be जो भी उसने टास्क करना था that is no longer required. Third can be the parent exits. जो पेरेंट है वो खुद एग्जिट कर गया and the OS does not allow the child to run if the parent terminates. तो OS क्या कह रहा है कि चाइल्ड नहीं रन कर सकता अगर उसका पेरेंट नहीं है. फोर्स एग्जीक्यूशन कैन आल्सो बी डन बाय द यूजर. एज अ यूजर आप भी फोर्सफुली किसी प्रोसेस को किल कर सकते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप ये वीडियो देख रहे हो, आपको नहीं पसंद आई, यू कैन किल इट. वीडियो बंद कर दो, प्रोसेस किल हो गया, राइट. नाउ based on this third point, there is another term called as cascading termination. Now what this line says, if the parent exits either normally or forcefully, the OS does not allow the child to exist. Now suppose if there is a parent P which has a child P1 which has a child P2, and now if the parent exits, what happens? The OS says the child cannot exist. So now if P1 is killed, this means that its child P2 cannot exist. So this is called cascading termination, where you kill one of the process and the entire chain automatically gets killed, right? So this is all about operations on process. In the next lecture we are going to cover CPU scheduling and scheduling algorithms. So I hope आप enjoy कर रहे हो all these video lectures. Please don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next class. Take care.